Well, hey guys, Silly Tucker, welcome back to another episode of ECW Extreme Championship Wrestling. This is the house party. The television special. I had to think about what the hell this thing was called. So my exams are now over. They're done with. So videos now should kind of start resuming to their previous schedule. I'm going to do my best to get this out today. It should. If it's not, it's because it's my fault. Okay, blame me. Boo me in the comments. But yeah, this is House Party 98. We're of course in Hammerstein. Tonight's a big deal, and you're going to see why in just a moment. We're going to kick things off with a video package. Paul Heyman commentates over it, stating that tonight is a fight for the pure heart and soul of this company, the pure fabric of this company, the culture of this company. Rob Van Dam and Steven Regal, the new era. The new era. That's my favorite fucking thing, that I've called them the new era. Almost like in jest of the Fed and their new era. But these two wanting to usher in an age of the grappler to ECW. Well, Tommy Dreamer and the Sandman, they don't see it that way. They see ECW as a place where everybody can come and go. But Rob Van Dam and Steven Regal, it's a little bit more than that for them. They want to eliminate people like Sandman and Tommy Dreamer, the people who wrestle this hardcore style, the people who put their bodies on the line for entertainment's sake, for your viewing pleasure. And Van Dam and Regal just don't think that there's a reason to it, you know what I mean? It's needless violence, it's needless self-harm, it doesn't need to happen. And tonight, it's a tag team match. The Sandman and Tommy Dreamer taking on Rob Van Dam and Steven Regal. If Rob Van Dam and Steven Regal are victorious, they will get a shot at the ECW World Championship sometime in the future. Yeah, it's a big show tonight. And we move into a 48D plus, just as Joey Styles, Joel Gertner welcome us to the show, run us down a little bit, talk a little bit more about the main event, get Joel's thoughts or something. Joel's like, I'm the fucking sexy Studley Dudley Gertner man. Joey Styles is like, yeah, whatever the fuck he just said. And they also talk about how tonight we're going to open things up with Little Guido taking on Taz for the television championship. It's a big night tonight. And Taz makes his way to the ring, the television champion. He comes down to the ring with his championship. I'm actually just going to close my window here. I don't know if you guys can hear that or not, just because it's a little bright at the moment. You know what I mean? I got the sun in my eyes, right? I wear glasses, so, it's coming in the window, and I can't fucking see for some reason. That's throwing off my concentration. But Taz makes his way to the ring with his television championship to defend it against Little Guido. And it's a 72 B-. Wow. Dude, Taz is the fucking shit sometimes. He can carry anybody to a watchable match. And about that, a great wrestling, decent reaction from the crowd. Taz defeated Little Guido in 9:45 by pinfall with a T-bone suplex. Taz makes defense number 6 of his ECW World Television Championship. Guido got hurt here, which isn't good to see. We're going to have to check that at the end of the episode. Really good performances from both men. I kind of did well with the Guido, what the hell can I call it, recovery project, you know what I mean? Trying to get him back to a point where he could contend for titles. But overall, if you want a little bit of off-screen stuff, actually I'll talk about the match first. The entire match revolves around kind of a dynamic we've seen a lot, I think. Big men kind of outmaneuvering, or being outmaneuvered, excuse me, by littler, smarter competitors, you know what I mean? Kind of that old adage, I guess. But in this case, it's a little bit different because Taz is actually the smaller man, but he's the far more dangerous man. So Guido's got to try to, he plays the coward the entire match, you know what I mean? Tries to take advantage of when Taz has his back turned. Maybe the ref's talking to Taz about something, oh, Taz, don't throw those fucking closed fists, even though it's no DQ, you fucking nerd. And then Guido tries to, roll up Taz or something. Taz kicks out and immediately grabs Guido and tosses him. Guido, rolls out of the ring. And it's like, oh, shit, oh, shit. So Guido fights a coward's match, but ultimately it's Taz who is victorious. If you want some off-screen stuff, like I was saying earlier, I debated putting the belt on Guido. But Taz is Taz. You know what I mean? Like, the person who beats Taz for this belt will be a big fucking deal. You know what I mean? Like, I probably won't be able to do Rob Van Dam's crazy-ass long reign, like 2-year reign, I think it is, with the television title. Just because Van Dam's, like, really fucking good and deserves to be in the main event, and there's no, like, reason to have... Like, I could see having your second best guy, maybe, or something like that, be your television champion, you know what I mean, to kind of add some stuff to that belt. But there's no reason that Van Dam shouldn't have been world champion in the original ECW, because, you know, WWE ECW doesn't really count. Or maybe you think it counts, because I guess it happened on One Night Stand. It kind of depends what you want to say. But in my mind, kind of like, after 01, that's kind of it for the ECW belt's lineage, and then there's the different one. You know what, I'm going to take this moment to talk a little bit about WWE ECW. I guess my thoughts on it, because why not? I think it was an interesting concept that was a hostage and failed for many different reasons, you know what I mean? A lot of different visions. I mean, you could look up any number of videos talking about it, and you'd probably get a more in-depth analysis of why it failed. But I think that a lot of the stuff that they brought in, kind of like the new superstar concept, you know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. I dug that. I still do dig that a lot for some reason. I think it's really cool to have a brand, kind of, where people can come in and kind of, I don't want to say test their mettle, but kind of like have new guys come in, you know what I mean, introduce new characters before they go off to different places, kind of like NXT now. But NXT now is mostly just indie guys, and now that we know, now that I guess indie wrestling's reach is a lot bigger than it used to be, you know what I mean, with the rise of New Japan, Ring of Honor, and really online streaming. Basically everybody has instantaneous access to wrestling as long as you have an internet connection and some money. Even maybe not money, maybe just a decent antivirus. You know what I mean? If you want to go to those sites, haha. But yeah, no. Overall, this match. Back to this match. Yeah, Taz retains his belt. He's the animal. He's the Taz guy. He's the Taz guy. Yeah, he's the Taz guy. Yeah, we're gonna have to figure out what the hell drummer's elbow is. Shane Douglas, he's backstage, he's hyping up his boys, Lance Storm, Chris Candido, and he says, that is what happens when you stick to the plan. You two, Lance, Chris, what happened? What happened? You listened to the franchise. You see what happens when you listen to a former and soon to be once again world champion. You pull out the W, the big one. All right, you two got yourselves back on track, and now I'm trusting it to both of you. Okay, I did the heavy lifting. I got you two that first win. I got your foot in the door. Now get me 2 more, and then go get me those tag team championships. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And Storm, Candido, Marie nod, you know what I mean? And they walk out, you know what I mean? Just a little bit of a, I don't know what the hell to call it, like a little meeting, I guess, from the Triple Threat backstage, talking about last week's victory for the Stormtroopers over the Hardy Brothers. A little bit update on that. The currently stands at 2-1. The hell's that? I see there. Hold on, my phone's gone off. Professionalism. Oh yeah, never mind. Just stuff there, you know, just basketball stuff. What the hell was I gonna say? Just kind of like a meeting. Oh right, yeah, I was talking about the Hardy Brothers versus the Stormtroopers. The Hardy Brothers lead 2-1. And the next match, I believe 4 of that bracket will be next week. So our next episode of Hardcore TV. Anarchy Rules would be, I think 1 week after when we would do the next one, so I'm just going to hold out and have the final match on Anarchy Rules. You know what I mean? Get a bit of a tag team representation on that show. If that makes sense to you guys. It makes sense to me. Just to hold out, you know what I mean? Make it a big one. That is if the Stormtroopers can bring it back. You know what I mean? Because there's a very good chance that the Hardys could just win. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Anyways, moving forward, it's a squash match, just no ifs, ands, or buts. Bam Bigelow beats Chris Chetty in 144 by pinfall with a powerbomb. Yeah, Bam Bam's dominant monster. He gets on the mic and he says, Jerry, I'm coming for you. I'm coming for that belt. I'm coming for my belt. When you gave me a shot at that title. And that is the biggest mistake you've ever made in your career. But by the time I'm done with you, you're going to think being born, entering wrestling, watching your first wrestling program was the biggest mistake of your career, any number of those. Breathing your first breath, breathing your final breath. It all comes full circle when I get my hands on you. When I get my hands on my championship. You know what I mean? Just kind of Bam Bam just being a fucking intimidating bastard. You know what I mean? We already know that this match will go on at Anarchy Rules. I'm just going to book it in because I'm pretty sure, okay, you're going to have to forgive me, right? I haven't booked this for a little while. I'm pretty sure we established this match was definitely happening on the last Hardcore TV. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but then we'll do something. I don't know. Somebody let me know. It's time for your main event of the evening. The Sandman and Tommy Dreamer come down to the ring, joined, of course, by Beulah McGillicuddy and Woman, respectively. And this is a big match. It's a turning point, possibly, in this entire company. If William Regal and Rob Van Dam... William Regal, god damn it. I fucking booking too much 01 with 370. If Steven Regal and Rob Van Dam are victorious... I might have called him William earlier, which fucking pisses me off. If they're victorious... they get a shot at the world title. And, well, I think something that maybe we don't give a lot of credit is how much say a world champion would have in a program. You know what I mean? Like, they're the world champion. They're like probably Paul Heyman's number 2 in terms of say, right? In terms of who gets to make what decisions when the show comes around, you know what I mean? I don't want to say like it gives them instant power, but it gives them really big influence over the show, right? Because they're technically the face of the company, right? If you want to be that strict about it. So you know this is a really big important matchup. Sandman and Dreamer fighting for almost everybody who's ever walked in through these doors and walked out them, or stayed here. It's a big match. It's got a big match rating with a 75 B-. Very, very, very good. But that had great wrestling, good heat. The New Era defeated Sandman and Dreamer in 1931 when Rob Van Dam defeated Tommy Dreamer by pinfall with a page turner. The New Era have a shot at the World Championship, and we are on the brink of seeing a new age. A new style, a new mentality, a new philosophy in ECW. A changing of the guard, if you will. A turning of the page. There was somebody in the comments, I forget who you are, I apologize, that pointed out to me that the move that I had in my head for the page turner is very, very similar to Celebrity Rehab by Chris Daniels and Frankie Kaz, The Addiction. I don't watch ROH that much anymore. To be honest, I don't watch wrestling in general that much anymore. I just kind of know things that happen. I watch matches that are really good. I follow the occasional, like, couple storylines and whatnot. But typically I float around until I find a product that I kind of like, and then I sit on that for a couple months, then I move around again. But overall, yeah, what I was saying was that finish is kind of similar to what I'm thinking for a page turner, but, like, Daniels, like, knees him from the side. I'm thinking, like, the fuck is the best? Like, imagine like a tombstone, how like you're holding them, you know what I mean, with like them with like their legs up and you with like standing, almost like a fucking 69 position. But kind of like on the horizontal plane, you know what I mean? So like knees like straight into the gut, and then basically just flip them over, hold one leg, kind of like sit on their like chest type gimmick, pull one leg back, 1, 2, 3. That's kind of my thoughts on that. And holy shit, ladies and gentlemen, I think I already said this. I did already say this, but the new era of Victorious and this company is in fucking trouble. The people of ECW are in fucking trouble. They're one match, get this, 3 seconds away from changing the fabric of this company. The fabric. I like how I said fabric. But that's House Party. Gets a 70C+. It's a very, very good rating. It's one of our best ratings in a little while. Up in 7 regions. Hopefully we cracked 50 pop in Tri-State. What was I going to look at? Right, I wanted to check out Guido's injury because I don't know, that could be pretty bad. What do we got for emails? Yeah, Guido got injured. Can we see it here? Injury for little Guido. He's gonna work through the pain. Okay, that's all right. That's okay. That's just fine then. I'm sorry for like this kind of like the skin's kind of an ugly color, but it worked really well with like the picture. You know what I mean? For like that little opener. You know what I mean? The House Party. If you go back, the font reflects the yellow, and it's really nice looking, I think. But this kind of part looks a little weird. Also, I don't like the like fucking ketchup and mustard thing that goes on with the font. You see that right there, where it's like red, it's with the what do you call it stuff? Yeah, it's kind of weird. That's okay. Medical. Oh, six days. Yeah, that's okay. I think that'll only affect him for 1 episode of Hardcore TV, and I gotta switch House Party back to Hardcore TV. I will say overall though, I really like the schedule I'm running in this game. You know what I mean? It's a little bit different than what most people do, I like to think. Running like TV specials and stuff like that. Kind of, I kind of think of, I thought of it as like, say you're a company and I don't want to say you're losing money, right? But maybe like you're not always profitable, okay? Like I thought maybe we wouldn't be. I'm just making sure that I stylized that correctly. I did. I thought of basically modern TNA, how they kind of run it right now with TV specials, and I kind of dug that because it kind of broke up the monotony of pay-per-view, kind of because something that I didn't really account for in TEW is that I don't think you can see what months we run pay-per-views versus the months where we don't, because that's pay-per-view, that's a pay-per-view, that's a pay-per-view, that's a pay-per-view. Yeah, but like I was saying, you can see the months where we run pay-per-views. They obviously have an increased, what the hell is it called? Expenditure, excuse me. It's right there on my fucking screen. But I thought it would be a little bit more, you know what I mean? But it's not really. We could run pay-per-views every month if we wanted to. I think we gain a lot more money if we chose to. But that might not be true because last month was our best fucking month. I don't know why. What I'm seeing really is our sponsors came around a lot and our merch went up a lot. It was a lot of our merch. Our miscellaneous income was a little bit down actually. So really all that increase, the difference that you see between these two is all in these numbers right here. Yeah, because and in the worker cost being a little bit less, but it's mostly in our merchandise actually. Now that I'm looking at it, so keep buying my fucking t-shirts, please, thank you. Overall though, yeah, we're heading into the final week of September '98. Then we'll be in October. Then before you know it, it'll be November to remember. And then we'll be back in December, and it'll have been 1 year. And I know that I don't know when I started this series. I think I started it maybe, I want to say September. And so doing a year in about 4 months, 5 months this is, because we'll probably be done a year probably February, right? Well, because considering it's basically I think it's the second last day of January right now. Again, this should hopefully be up on January 30th. If not, oh God. I don't know. It's just not such a great thing. You know what I mean? Like, I'd like to be quicker, but I know sometimes I can't be quicker because things happen. You know what I mean? I have, there are various reasons, you know what I mean, why production could slow down. Exams, like I had, maybe just getting burnt out, you know what I mean? Because that does happen occasionally. You get burnt out. Sometimes I just don't have time to book, you know what I mean? Or I want to do something else, and that's a thing I fall victim to a lot, you know what I mean? Especially since January or whatever, just coming off of Christmas, you know what I mean? You get new shit, you get money to go buy new shit, so you spend time doing a lot more different stuff, you know what I mean? Trying out all your new little things, so maybe sometimes, you know what I mean, I just put things off, you know what I mean? I go, no, I won't book ECW today. But now that I have the series with 370 going, and we've got a bit of a backlog in that, a good backlog, not a bad backlog, you know what I mean? We've got like a couple episodes in the bank, if you will. Production should kind of start going as usual again now that I'm done exams. It should be a video every other day. I don't know if anybody's noticed that that's kind of the schedule I try to do, but that's kind of what I try to do. I try to do every other day when I can. ECWs are going to be weird because they require me to be on my toes, you know what I mean? Like, I try to make these the day that I would put them up, or the day before I'd put them up, you know what I mean? So I'd upload, record, right? Like, that's how it'd be. Upload day, record day, upload day, record day, upload day, record day. And typically the thing actually that stops production the most is making thumbnails. I fucking hate making thumbnails for some reason. Just because I find them a little bit monotonous, and like, also I use my laptop still to make my thumbnails, so just because I haven't switched over my Photoshop, you know what I mean? I haven't, like, moved over the license or whatever. So it's kind of slower than this, and it pisses me off sometimes, you know what I mean? So I've got to be in, like, a good, productive mood in order to do whatever. But at this point, I've already taken up, like, 20 whatever minutes of your time. You don't need to hear any more about me just rambling about random shit. But I want to thank you all so much for watching. If you want to see what happens between these 6 days, between this House Party show and Hardcore TV, you can follow my Twitter. It's in the banner on my channel. I do weird little things on there. Yeah, I want to thank you all so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. This is Silly Tuck, signing out.